Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us at this um, webinar, which this one is being sponsored by both APP and APPI, which is an associated nonprofit institute. In fact, I want to tell you a little bit about that institute because it is an educational institute whose goal is to further the teaching of and the educating of people about precognition, encouraging people to become what we call precogers, and in fact professional precogers. If they get good enough, they can actually earn money. We think it's time to educate society, and science has done its job, frankly, in proving that precognition is real, and yet society just and most scientists just simply ignore that and do not take it like it's particularly important. And yet I frankly see it as a paradigm shift along with many other what are called paranormal capabilities of our minds, of consciousness. And so we're using precognition as an example. And we do measures, most of the work that we do are on things which are 50-50 probability. So we get hit and misses and passes. And I want to show you this as an example because a lot of people, when they start out, will have hit rate, hits divided by hit plus misses, which should average around 50%. And they might start out like this. The red is cumulative, and you can see the red curve started out, low, went up to 50, went up to 60%, went down to 40%, averaging around average, nothing unusual. The blue curve is the last 10, the average of the last 10. So when he got 10, he actually had 6 out of 10 here, and this ignores passes. Then went down to like 30%. The last 10 that he did at this point in time had only 3 out of 10. Other people actually come in and they have what we might call beginner's luck, and then they'll get down into this range for a while. And then after that, the really good ones will go up. But let me show you what this person did. Okay, and this is one of our professional precogers. So starting out, getting settled in, you learning how to do precognition in the way I'm going to show you, this associative remote viewing technique, and you can see his progress here. His overall was up to maybe, and this is cumulative from the beginning, so maybe 67, 68%. Again, the blue curve is the 10-day moving average, and you can see he actually got up to all the last 10 here, then down to 50, and the 10-day still oscillates. The one that I consider the most important is the green curve, which is the 25-day tradable average. And you can see here right now he is at 80%. Many years at an IRVA conference, International Remote Viewing Association conference, I stated 80% was kind of a goal which I thought was achievable for many, many, many people. And in fact, I believe everybody has that capability. It's just like an inborn natural capability, turned off by many people when they were young or never really applied, but it's something which I believe can be learned up to levels like this. So this is an example, and this is, of course, one of our Precog Pro people that are working with us now. I want to show you another one. I tend not to put names just because if they wish to be named, they're welcome to do so, and I will verify that. But I think it's better to stay low-key. This is the one exception. John Herlosky, who is very well known in our community, has written books, and is going to be giving a presentation at AppFest coming up in Vegas, where he's going to talk about how he is able to keep this kind of track record. Here's his track record. He started very high. His cumulative is at like 73%. And again, the 25-day, which is the green curve, is up at maybe 75%. And notice here, he is leveling off there. The previous one is up at 80%, and I hope, and I'm sure he hopes, to remain level up at that. And John at 75%, hey, that's terrific on what average would be 50, but is going up here. Being in this as long as I have for 15 more years and seeing this, now we're taking it to the point where professional precoggers, and that's really part of APPI's mission, is to turn this into money, because money will make the precoggers professionals because they can earn money, but also will eventually talk to society. And I will tell you that we have made contact with a hedge fund, and so some of these professionals are now involved in there, and that is another source. But what I'm showing here are partnerships with APPI, where all the 2000 investments were made by APPI, no involvement, no dollar investment required by the precoggers. You know, I encourage them to come in, minimize the stress by not having them to put up any money, and I do all the investment. Their job is to give ARV predictions like you're about to see. Here it was a 50-50 partnership. The other person did put up half the money. What you see here are the total value, which includes the amount of money they've withdrawn from this partnership. Some people use it almost as a checking account. They do want to keep the money high because I invest a percentage of what we have, typically, because that gets the monies to go up high. But you can see these very high return on investments for the partnership, half of which is owned by the profits. Half the profits are owned by the partners. So this is real. We're not just talking about what we want to do, we are doing it now. Now let's talk about the approach that all of the professionals are using, and in app we have over 10, I don't even know how many now, maybe 15 different groups using associative remote viewing, and we're going to be doing that today for a football game this evening, and then tomorrow we'll be doing the all-important feedback session. So ARV, associative remote viewing, is an application of remote viewing. Now, remote viewing is the gathering of information from distant locations and or times, and of course that's what we're interested in, the future times, using capabilities of consciousness, and this is the way I like to say it because this is how I see it, capabilities of consciousness not yet accepted by the current paradigm. I mean, the kind of data that I just showed you, most people out there will not in fact believe, and yet we're doing it. And our focus is indeed on the future. Now let's talk about what it is that we're predicting here. We call it a target. The target is not a physical target like you would shoot with the bow and arrow. It's an information target that you gather information from and report in a transcript. Now, the key thing about this information target is that it must be one which can be provided as feedback. The person who is gathering the information is called the viewer. They use all of their senses to describe and sketch what they're going to see in the future as feedback. That's what the word feedback means. So a viewer might be tasked blindly to describe a target like this. And the good viewers would be able to get some of the colors. They would probably draw some horizontal lines. They might even say something about the activity. The kind of viewing they do is what we call low level. There are remote viewing classes out there that teach the more detailed kind of remote viewing, where you might go after very, very fine details like the military needed. In associative remote viewing, we don't need that, as you'll understand better as I proceed here. But if you were to get the horizontal lines, say, hey, activity, brown, maybe draw a circle, seeing that the target's a circle, a few things like that, that would be a good enough description. It does not have to be perfect. Yet some people do full sessions and they indeed get more detailed information. Now, these targets are what we call photo sites, like this. The difference is this is a photo. A photo site has not only the shapes, which you can get from here, but sounds. A viewer might very well pick up the sound of something going through the air, hitting the target, a thud or something like that. I once had a great picture of a beehive, and all over one of the viewers' transcripts was bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. Viewer didn't know what it was, but got the sounds beautifully, and also had other information. You also might get taste, colors. All of your senses are open to picking up information from this future feedback target. When you see it, it's as if the information is going back in time to you. So a photo site is all that information which can be verified, because, you know, hey, there might be a lake over here someplace, but, you know, as a person looking at this and trying to evaluate, analyze, judge how well the viewer did, I wouldn't know that. And so a photo site within that definition is describe and sketch what can be verified from your feedback target. And even the best viewers, you saw our best viewers are not at 100%. So sometimes you get hits, sometimes you get misses. Now here is what we are going to be doing this afternoon. It's called an over-under wager. We're doing it on a football game. The bookmakers, these guys used to be called bookies in the old days, but now they're called bookmakers. They set a line, and that line is one that they're willing to take a bet on either side. In this case, for over-under, the line is simply the total number of points scored by each team. So it's the sum of the points scored by both teams. It's sort of a really good one because you are not rooting for one team or another. You know, if you are, you just want that team to get a lot of points maybe, but this is an over-under wager on the total points. And so they set then what's called a line. Here is an example we're going to do, and I got this actually yesterday morning. That's when I put this one together. And the line and the game we're doing starts at 5:25 today. It's with the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. it turns out I don't follow football much. My sport is Associative Remote Viewing, but I know those names, so they must be, this probably will be, quote, a good game. The bookmakers set the line at 46 points. Now let me explain to you what this minus 110 means here and minus 110 here. If I were to put up $110 and I win and I go over, the up arrow, little arrow, I guess, triangle here pointing up is over. This would be for under. In either cases, notice it's minus 110. That says if I put up $110, I would win $100. So I'd get my 110 back and I would win 100. If I lose, of course, I lose 110. That extra $10 is sometimes called the VIG. It's what the bookmakers live on. It is that difference. So that's the meaning of the minus 110. The other two interesting bets, which we don't usually do, we sometimes do the spread, but not the odds. But let me explain the odds to you. The odds are the odds on each of the team winning. So the Chicago Bears have a plus number. What does that mean? The Chicago Packers have a minus number. Well, the minus number means the same thing here. If I were to put up $360, I would win 100. So you can see the odds are not pretty close. This team is the favorite. The Greenback Packers are favored to win this. And notice everything scales here. If I put up $36, I would get my $36 back plus 10 if I wanted to go for the favorite team. Now here's the underdog. The underdog with the plus numbers means if I put up $100, I will win $295. So you can see it's the underdog, and the odds makers are willing to set that as the odds. Now the spread means points. Here, the Green Bay Packers, who are the favorite, if you want to take them with what's called the spread, you have to give up 7.5 points. So they'd have to win by 7.5 points for this wager, for you to make money on this wager. Or you could take the Chicago Bears, and they can in fact lose by 7 points, and you could still win. So that's really a summary of the wagering. What we're going to be doing is the over-under. Now, here is the question. Will the over wager win? That's roughly a 50-50 bet. It's an even bet here from the wagering standpoint. And so that's what we're going to take on. Will the over wager win? Here you go. The Associative Remote Viewing has 3 parts to it. There's the remote viewing section, where we talked about that, where you go and pick up information from your future feedback session. Well, guess what? This is really where precognition begins, because you will always get feedback and you will always be able to see your target. And so it's sending information backwards from here to here. Sometimes I call it entanglement. Sometimes I call it information from the matrix. Ingo Swann, one of the great remote viewers, helped start remote viewing, called it the matrix. I sometimes call it the universe of collective consciousness outside of space and time. However you think about it, we know that information can be shared from here to here. And what you develop is what is, I call, a communication channel between the remote viewing session and the precog session. Now, if all you wanted to do, and a lot of people do this for practice, is describe and sketch, say, a picture that you get randomly from Google, that's all you would need to do. You could practice, you could look at it yourself and see how you're doing. That is an example of doing the third phase of analysis judging. Since we want to do wagering, this analysis judging phase becomes very important, and we're going to be talking a lot about that, and you're going to be doing that today. But really get that that is secondary. Hey, notice the ship is even smaller. It's important for the wagering, but in terms of your remote viewing, you describe and sketch your feedback, which you will always see. So your task, the cue that you're given, is describe and sketch your, and you'll be given a 6-digit coordinate, okay? And it's that identifies this specific feedback target. So that coordinate associated with your transcript, and that's the coordinate you'll see at feedback time. So at feedback time, you'll know the truth for that coordinate. Okay, let's do an example. In fact, we're going to do 2 here. Let's just say you were given the coordinate 654,321. Okay, not a random coordinate. This is an example, right? That is associated with what we call your transcript. Must be Aling. I'm going to turn you off. Okay. That coordinate now is associated with the tasking which you saw. You're going to be asked, very first thing, describe and sketch your feedback target. We'll get you quiet. You'll open yourself up for this communication channel, and and you'll get information. I mean, this is a natural talent. You know, we'll give you some hints, but this is really a natural talent. You just open yourself up and you'll write down what you see. So here's an example of that. So there's a transcript. Now, it's connected to, notice the word associated, right? Associations. This is called associative remote viewing. There are actually several associations, but one of them is that this same coordinate is associated with the feedback target. We're asking the binary question. Well, the answer, the potential answer, has 2 binary possibilities. In this case, the question is, will over be the winning wager, yes or no? Okay. Now, so you have to be clear on that. We're going to make this a yes or no, and since we've asked it being over, the yes is associated with over, the no is associated with under. Sometimes we simply ask the question over versus under, the different ways of doing this. Now, we're going to be actually using, and we have many groups using this now, what is called the Winning Entanglements, protocol. This is a protocol where the computer will randomly associate your coordinate, okay, in this case 654,321, with a yes or no. Now this is how we does it. Other people actually might associate yes or no with one of the 2 possible pictures. But the way we do it is yes or no is associated with this particular coordinate, and that is done randomly. So you don't know that, only the computer knows. And why do we have 2 pictures? Because there are 2 possible answers for this, no or yes. In this example, we have the first coordinate associated with no. Here are the two possible photo sites. You are going to get always photo site A if, in this case, okay, so I have to be careful. Photo site A is always what we call the winning photo site. Photo site A is the photo site which is the correct answer. Photo site A, you will see in this case, if no, we use the word win because the first photo site is what actually happens. Okay, Elena. The first photo site is always associated with the actual outcome that occurs from the question. So just get that. So you will see this photo site as photo site A if no is in fact the correct answer. What happens? However, you will see photo site B if yes wins. Notice when you're doing your viewing, there hasn't even been a game yet. So we do not know if yes or no will win. What you do know is you will see the appropriate photo site. So if no wins for this coordinate, you will see photo site A. Okay? You will see photo site B for this coordinate if yes wins, period. Now, so that's what this says. I just hope that's clear. It probably is clear now, and then later when you think about it, people are going to say, wait a second, and it gets confusing. And I want to make one point right now, very importantly. What we're doing now is talking to the intellect. The intellect seems to want to understand this. You do not need to. You can go on your merry way and just describe and sketch the picture you see and let the we protocol that does all this randomly take care of it, because it will always show you just one target for this coordinate. The only people that see this are the judge. But the intellect wants to know. So let's take this example a little further. No is associated with this coordinate. And let's just, in fact, say, okay, so we're going to have a success story here. Let's just say that under, in fact, wins. So what that means, and for example, we have 46 points in our line. Let's say the game turns out to have a total number of points of 40. Then under would be the winning side. And in this case, that means no is the answer to the question. Will over be the winning wager? Well, no, it was under 46 points. So if no is the answer for 654321, then photo site A is your feedback target. Simple as that. Now we gives you an option of doing it twice, the same question, and that gives you two chances to get a good transcript and also to reinforce the answer, and I want you to understand that now. So notice the coordinate has changed. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have a different transcript. You know, maybe I didn't emphasize one thing here. If you look at this transcript, I think you can see that you would predict with structure, silver, hard. Yes, you have a little hot, but you would definitely give a stronger ranking to this one here, and so that will turn out to be turned out to be the hit. Here we are here with the same question, but this time, and this is the way we does it, while it's random, once the first one was set at no, the second coordinate for the same prediction will be set to yes. And that's how you get reinforcement, because it's the same question, and we now want to know if the answer is yes, then in fact this will be the confirmation, okay? But if the answer is no, you're going to see this picture just as before. So the ground rules indeed are the same, but what you do know, since one is no and one is yes, in one case you're going to see one picture, in the other case you're going to see the other. Notice your subconscious will know that. It doesn't have to peek. It's going to see them both. It's the subconscious's job to use the communication channel to associate the right coordinate with the right picture. So again, if yes is the answer, then you're going to see in this example photo side A, because photo side A is always what we call the winning side, what actually happens, okay, based on, for this coordinate, it's associated yes or no, over under. So in this case, again, notice it's the same game. Under wins. Which would you say is the best match here with this transcript? People, vegetation, hot, this one. Okay, so in this case, no, still the same answer. We only got 40 points in the same game, but in this case, because this coordinate was associated with yes, the correct answer is no. This will be your feedback picture. So photo side B for this target is your picture. And so in this example, when it comes to feedback time, which is what you're connecting to at your remote viewing time, you indeed would, for 654321, see this. And of course you have your transcript nearby. You do a feedback session, you're feeling really good. Oh, look, I got silver hard. Oh, structure, I don't know what that hot was. You emphasize it. We suggest you, in fact, add more information. You know, you could have put a little circle, and you might write that on your transcript. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow when we actually do feedback. And you also see this feedback because you did two coordinates. Now today we're only going to do one. Notice one would have been enough to make a prediction. But two is even better. Now you've got reinforcement. Here with this transcript, oh my gosh, look, yeah, there's vegetation. Boy, I picked up the people. I got the trees. I got hot. Hey, this was really, really great. You feel really, really good about it. The hardest part about ARV, I'm going to tell you right now, is when you get a miss and you need to go through somewhat negative emotions and learn something. You learn something from your hits, but you can learn something, and probably more, from your misses in terms of what happened with my communication channel, maybe what caused noise, did I not pay enough attention. Okay, that's ARV. You are basically in a position when you're doing this associative remote viewing of doing what I like to call precognitive telepathy. You're doing it with yourself. You are connecting up through a communication channel of some sort with information at feedback time. So you're the remote viewer. You're the feedbacker. You're the person doing the feedback. All of that somehow goes into a universal collective consciousness, which you are able to pick up earlier on in linear time as a remote viewer. So it actually begins at the feedback time, and in a real sense you are causing information entanglement. In fact, more and more scientists now, and they have conferences called retrocausality, which really is the same thing as precognition, though it tends to look at it here going in this direction in time, where precognition sort of is getting information from the future, but they really are the same. It's an entanglement. And there's this communication channel, which is what you're building. Okay, emphasizing here, because we're getting very close to doing this now, this keyword of intention. Your cue is to describe and sketch your feedback target. We're going to do a short cool down here, like a meditation. And one of the things you're going to sense and get into is an intention to create a transcript for your particular coordinate that is a good match to the feedback target. Okay, that's everything we've been talking about. I think you should have that. But in your psyche, you send up that intention. And then at the feedback session, you do a similar thing. You intend to do this entanglement. Okay, so that's sort of backwards. You put this in this magical matrix place or wherever it is, whatever it is. But you also know and intend to have every session you do be one where you are improving. So the target is the feedback photo site. How many images do you see in a day? How many images do you see? So many. The one that matters, the one you entangle with, is your feedback target. The other aspect of this, which is very important, is expectation. We talked about intending, but expecting is a little different. Expecting gets at this level of confidence. You get into this place when you do your remote viewing session where you get rather positive. During the cool down, you feel really comfortable that you're going to feel really good when you see the correct feedback photo and your transcript at feedback time. And so that's an expectation thing. And you're just sort of confident, take it for granted. You expect the sun to come up tomorrow. You just get into that kind of very knowing mindset that it's going to happen. And that's what you work towards, just feeling more and more confident. And then again, at the feedback time, you get this expectation you're just going to get better and better, and you get more and more confident, and you're working on expanding the communication channel and building up your kind of inner self. Okay, how do you do this? Well, it turns out, and the first question is, how do you get your coordinate? And the Winning Entanglements protocol is really, as much as we can make it, a user-friendly online approach. It basically uses email. Your tasking comes with email, and all the information is saved on a server, which is there for you to go back and peruse and learn from. So you saw an example of the hit rate chart, but there's also plenty of opportunities for you to put in comments, which are also saved and are available to you. So I say, let's do it. And the way we start is by the tasking that you get. Now, what we are going to do is just what the Carve, that's one of our groups, has already started doing. Okay, so I have these predictions here. for people, and the predictions include what are called confidence rankings, which they do during the judging phase, and we're going to do that now. But the first phase, of course, is the remote viewing. Okay, so we now are acting as if we as a group, and we're going to use me as the person doing this, but we're going to do it as a group, gets a view graph, gets an email just like this. So you can be put, any of you, in the CARV group or one of our other groups, and through the groups you will get a tasking like this, and it indicates the game, the NFL game, the date, and then you click here for the tasking. So let's do it. Okay, you then get, I'm making this bigger so I think it'll be easier for you to see. You then get a page like this, which defaults in this case to CARV, and it gives you two choices, the one coordinate choice or the two coordinate choice. CARV defaults to one. I actually recommend two. But we'll do one today. We're getting multiple predictions from multiple people. I'm going to do this under my name. So all you have to do is put in your email address that uniquely identifies you. Make sure you type it correctly. If you type it wrong, that'll think you're a different person, and it'll put the information, in a different file. So that's it. You put in your username. You click here. Oh, and look what happened. Right there, you now got your tasking and your coordinate. So the coordinate, and we're all going to use the same one. Generally, each username will get a different coordinate. So everybody in the group will get their own coordinate. So there's no what's called telepathic overlay or anything like that. So here you've got this coordinate. Get out a pencil and paper and write that on the top of your page right now. And there's the cue, which we've described before. This is the standard cue. And this right now is what we're going to get into. And you can forget all that other intellectual crap and just begin to get to the point where you're going to describe and sketch your 763965 feedback target. Now, over here on the other side of the same page, we say start your RV session when you feel good about doing the session. Feel good about doing the session. This is why we do, and I'm going to guide you through a simple one, but most people come up with their own approach for this, of what is called a cool down session. It's a meditation. It's where you set this intention to describe your feedback. You set the expectation of confidence. All that's done in the cool down session. We're about to do it. Once you then do your RV session, normally you would have a page just like this. You need to get that session onto your computer. Nowadays, almost everybody has a smartphone or still scanner, and you would scan it to your computer. You would then browse and pick it up from your own computer, and we'll do that after we get all the sessions, and then you submit it. Okay? And that ends the remote viewing phase of it. So you now have your coordinate. Hopefully it's all written down on the top of a sheet for you. And I want to just show this, and I can make this available. It's online. The kind of thing that some people like to use, but for your newbies, it's a good way of starting things. You might put the coordinate at the top just so you have it. You always put, and you can do this now, the name, the date, and the time. Some people like to put where they are if they move around. this is a kind of approach that the military used in the loosest sense, because they would ask for it in a different way, but they would always start with a coordinate, and an ideogram is sort of like a doodle. So after we do our cool down, I really do recommend you write the coordinate again, maybe even multiple times. Say it out loud, and you're going to say it out loud again at feedback time, and do a little doodle. It might be just to get you started. It might even have some elements of the target in it. Some people talk about it bringing up a language, but just use it now for getting things started. And often what comes in first are things called gestalts. Those are the big picture kinds of things in the target. You know, mountains, structure, water, stuff like that. That just tends to come in automatically from the communication channel that way. You know, when you look at the picture, the very first thing you will see is sort of the big picture thing that have to do with that feedback target, and that's what tends to come in first, and usually that gets written first. But then these are all the other things which you should be open to getting. You might get textures, rough, smooth, colors. Some people are very good at getting colors, other people don't get colors at all. And you might visualize it, or words may come in. Smells, tastes, all of your sensories. Dimensions are really one of the key things that tends to come in. The geometry, the shapes, you know, are there circles, are there rectangles, are there just an odd shape, and you just might be moved to put some odd shape down on the paper. Go ahead and you'll do that. You know, some people, as I say, are good visualizers, so just simply put down, you know, what you see visually. Others will just get pieces. In fact, most people just get pieces at a time. You might get sound. You might get a sense of dynamics. You might get temperatures. You might get what's called an aesthetic impact, an overall feeling. And then the one last thing before we start doing this is this communication channel is really where you learn to build up a dialogue with your subconscious mind that has access to all the information, past, present, and future, and distinguish that from the intellectual stuff which might be going on. You might first see red, and you might see round, and then basketball or something like that will come in. But that maybe really came from your intellect, and it'll have a different feeling. It's like your intellect put that together as a guess, because, you know, it could be a tomato. It could be lots of other possible things, but it has a different feeling. And as you do this more and more, one of the things you learn is that feeling, and we tend to write that stuff on the right side of the piece of paper. And also it just gets rid of it from the intellect, and you get back to getting info from your subconscious, from your communication channel with the subconscious. Now, typically you get information in bursts. You write it down, sketch it, and then you might go down again and get more information. And you go down several times. So we're about to do it now. On the top of your paper, you're going to put the 763965. I'm going to give you 10 minutes after we do the cool down. Some of you may very well, if you've had some experience, do the cool down on your own. You know, you can turn off the sound here, but I will give one for those of you who choose to listen. At the end of it, I will end with a count back from 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'll say describe, and that's when you can start your transcript. This cool down period is considered very important. Joe McMonagle, interestingly enough, once made the statement that it's 75% of the discipline, and by that he means getting this connection where you really feel you're got the communication channel open and connected to your feedback target, where you feel you've really set your intention and expectation quite well, and then you listen and report. You use your senses and report. Okay, so get settled back in your chairs now. You might close your eyes. Begin focusing on your breathing. This is a way of letting go of the outer world. Let the day-to-day thoughts, just let them float away. Let them just leave you. Just relax. Yeah. It feels good just to relax. Become more aware of the quiet of your inner world. As you relax, let the day-to-day stuff go. There's a quietness inside you. Yes, just relax. Find that quiet, peaceful, safe, loving place inside you. It's an inner sanctuary. That's where your communication channel is. Your subconscious is opening that communication channel with you more and more. You're opening it more and more. Intend to describe your 763965 feedback target. Expect to see a great match during your feedback session. Feel good about that. Feel good about that now. Relax. Feels good. Move your consciousness to your future feedback session for 763965. Relax. Witness what your subconscious will provide about your target. I'm going to count backwards now from 4, 3, 2, 1. Describe. A minute to go. You might go down, get another few precepts, information.
This is Noreen. I came in late.
Okay, hold on, Lorraine. Okay, the 10 minutes are up. At the bottom of your transcript, write end of session. Some people write EOS. Come on back to your normal state and join us here. Okay, yeah, Noreen, I saw you came back late. This is going to be recorded, and you're in our discussion group, so you'll get the link to it, and so it'll teach you exactly what we're doing. What we're about to do now, though, is important, so I suggest you stay because it has to do with the judging. Oh, wait, that's noisy.
Wow. I sent my target number to you, but I didn't know which email, so I just sent it to another email of yours. So I did the session.
Oh, you did? Perfect. Then that's all you need for now. That's fine.
It's sent, yeah, but I don't know what email it was. I couldn't figure out what you were talking about.
I'm going to show you. In fact, we're going to do that now. So that's perfect. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you did it. And sending it to my normal email, I'm going to ask anybody who wants to do that, and we will look at some of them. So the fact that you did that is good. But normally, I'm going to show you now what you usually do. Okay, everybody. Assuming you're back. The 10 minutes for many people is too long, actually. Some people just get the information, do it, and they're done in 5, 6, 7 minutes after the cool down. Others, 10 minutes is good. Others like to go longer. So it's very individualized. And usually you'll be at home and you'll be able to take as much or a little time as you like. Now the question is, what's the next step? Well, the next step is the analysis and judging step. And let me show you how you get to that. So we go back. Remember this page? This is where you got your coordinate, okay? And you got that simply by going to the tasking page, and there was a link there that led to this page. So now, once you had your coordinate, you did your remote viewing session when you felt good about it. We did a cool down. You now would normally browse for your transcript. So that's what you would do, Noreen. You would have to get it on your computer and you would browse for it and then you would pick it up.
How do I browse for it? I don't know.
Do you have a smartphone? A phone that can take a picture?
Oh no, I don't have. Oh no, no, I have nothing. I have a landline. I'm old. I'm almost 80.
Okay. You don't have a scanner or a fax either?
I have a scanner. Yes, I can scan.
So can you scan things to your computer?
Yes, I know how to do that. Yes.
Ah, okay. So once you scan it to your computer, you would then go in and search for it just like I did here. So that's valuable to everybody. So you just simply browse. Once you've scanned it in, it goes someplace. Now what I'm going to do is I make up for webinars just like this a dummy transcript, and so you would then browse, you'd get your transcript here, okay, and so you would see that it's here, and then you hit submit. And as soon as I hit submit, up is going to come one of the choices that might match your transcript. Okay, so we're about to enter the judging phase. And so I just click submit, and there is the first one. Remember, we talked about photo site A. To see photo site B, you click here, and I'm not going to show you that one yet, but just so you know the way the system works, once I click that, you will get photo site B. Now notice you did one transcript. You, in the best of all worlds, would get a good match to one picture and a poor match to the other. So this might be poor and the other might be good. Nobody knows yet. This is precognition. You're describing a feedback picture. The game has not been played, but we would like a good match to one of the two pictures. Now let me tell you a little bit about judging. One of the best ways I found, at least to give you the flavor of it, is to tell you what it is not. And those of you who have been around have seen me use this, and it, I think, says it very well. It says, I alone know the contents of this envelope. So this is Ken, our skeptic. Here's our remote viewer. He's doing a verbal description of the target inside the envelope. He says, oh, it's an ink drawing of a woodchuck eating a small orange. And the skeptic, of course, says, nice try, you little fraud, but that's a long way from an ink drawing of a beaver eating a tangerine. So I think you get the idea. Charcoal drawing, that's not too far from an ink drawing. Beaver, woodchuck, tangerine orange. In fact, these are pretty obvious. What you're going to learn about your own subconscious mind, which is so kind of actually fun, is the way it interprets the information as it goes through that communication channel and comes up through your whole psyche, your whole personality, until it gets to your conscious mind. So you will be seeing a lot of analogy type things, metaphor type things in your judging, and you should give some credit for that. Now, how do we do the judging? In the we system, and you saw it briefly, and let me go back because I want to make this clear. In the we system, you are going to have to put in a number from 0 to 7. And that's the TAR confidence ranking scale, which is right here. We can click on that, and there it comes. So I'm going to show it to you in the slide presentation, but you can always get it just by clicking there. So as I said, we tried to make this user friendly, and after you do it a few times, you'll get a sense of it. So you're going to first judge your transcript against this one, and then we'll go look at the second one, and then you can put comments in, which are saved for you to see later, and then you click the submit button, and you'll be done with the judging. So right now, I'm sure you're looking at your transcript and the judging. Get in a very intellectual kind of state. Emotions are one of the things which seem to get entangled with stuff that's going on with you and the communication channel. That's why we say feel good about stuff that you're looking at it, because when you're feeling really good, excited, that tends to open up the communication channel more. But while you're judging, you're just looking at this. You don't know if it's right or wrong or anything yet. You really want to be mostly intellectual, but there's certainly some intuition which comes in. Now, 0 to 7, this is Russell Targ's, one of the guys who worked at Stanford Research Institute, and he came up with these kind of words, which is this ranking system. So 0 and 1 are no, very little correspondence. 2, some correct elements, but not sufficient to suggest results beyond chance. So this is chance. You get a color. You might get one shape, but most of your transcript just is off. In fact, a lot of people will put ones or zeros against every element on their transcript. And, you know, chance might be you only get 1/3 of them right or something like that. This is not exact. As you can see, the words tend to be vague, but you get the idea what you're looking for. 3 says, yep, a mixture of correct and incorrect elements, but not enough of the former to indicate the viewer has made contact with the target. Okay, so enough of the former to indicate that the viewer has made contact with the target. Psychic contact. So there's enough of the former. So 3, for the first time, you're willing to say, yeah, I think the information I got is from the target. But it's kind of marginal. Up here, you're maybe at, I don't know, 40% is sort of something like that. We do not use 3 as being tradable. It's right kind of on the margin. Here you go with 4. Notice a new word came in. Good correspondence with several matchable elements intermixed with some incorrect information. A 4 means you get something which is not marginal. It really, you say, my gosh, that is really good. My psychic ability was working when I did my transcript. You know, don't get real excited yet. You stay intellectual, but you say, yep, that was really a good match. And intermix with some incorrect information. Up by a 4, I generally believe about 50% of what you have in there or more should be correct. More is better. So you don't want to have a lot of junk. If you're really tuned in, there'll be some, but not a lot. Not more than half, say. 5, good correspondence with unambiguous, unique, matchable elements, but some incorrect information. Unambiguous, unique, matchable elements. Okay, try to make this pretty strong. Those are pretty strong words. When you get down to really trying to understand what they mean, people disagree. We have had multiple judges look at the same transcript, the same target, and some say it's a 5, others say it's a 4. Occasionally someone will even say, hey, that's only a 3. But usually they'll differ by 1 or so. So there is judgment here. That's why it's called a judging system. But you could tell unambiguous, unique, matchable elements, more than 1. And when I see a 5, and when I'm a judge of a group, the judges get to see both your comments, the group managers, your comments, so they're not only available to you, they're available to your group manager, so he can use that for making a group prediction. I always like for a person to tell me, and I'll sometimes email them, okay, what was unambiguous and unique about this? So that's a 5. That's very good. 6s and 7s start getting to the point where, remember, we talked about those analytical overlays where you think it's your intellect, not your subconscious that's doing it. Well, now some of that is accurate. You're now like naming maybe the function of the target, and you might still have some incorrect information. And a 7 is just, you just nailed it. You probably named it. You know, that's rare, but that's a 7. So that's the system. Now, probably while I am talking, some of you have already done this. What I would like you to do is, John, are you in as a, where are you, John? There you are. Are you in? No, you're in as yourself. I'm going to make you an organizer. And what I would like everybody to do is to the organizers, because John is going to keep a spreadsheet so that when we're done, we can make a group prediction. So I'm now acting as the group manager. All of you are in my webinar group. And so we'll be able to see everybody's confidence rankings between 0 and 7. So in the chat box, which I hope you can find, if not, we'll help you, there's a way of sending to the organizers a message. And all you have to do is say A and then put a number between 0 and 7. And what I'm going to try to get on the screen now.
I can't find the box.
Okay.
I can't find the chat.
Do the so down there by the bottom of the chat box where it says it's recording, there's a little down arrow, and then select to just send your scores to the organizers, so it doesn't affect everyone else.
Do you see that? Right. Do you see the chat box?
Now I see the chat box.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you click it, and right. Okay, good.
And don't forget, I'm already getting scores, Marty, but they haven't.
It's best to say A and then the score.
There you go.
Because he's going to go back. Yeah, perfect. Because then we're about to do the next one, and then you'll do B and a score. Okay. And remember, there are 2. So, in fact, let me put the targ on. Okay, there you go. So you should be able to see the targ scale now and this one. Okay. So there are a lot of them. What I'm now going to bring up is the second photo site, and notice you get that simply by clicking photo site B. So there is photo site B. See. I'm going to actually try to show them both now. See, the judge sees them both, but that's no problem. You see lots of images in a day. Okay. There we go. Let me go back here. And I'm going to put this one here. So these are quite different.
Well, that was supposed to be B.
Yeah, so photo site B now. So your same transcript, just simply put a B and then send it off. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Someone gave a 10. We'll mark that as a 7. Okay, that'll be very interesting to see. Now, those of you, especially those who got the high scores, and a high score would be, even a 4 is good enough, or a 5 or a 6, you might want to send them, and I will put it in the general chat box to me, and then we can all look at it. Because part of the judging is learning to judge reasonably well. Again, I say in agreement within about one. And so I do tend to look at the high ones to see if I agree. So let me see.
Yeah, I should I did something wrong.
Yeah, he'll look at your last one, presumably. Again, you can say whatever word you want in there, and those are all going to
Oh, you mean like my description of what I sent in the email?
no, just in here for now, just put B and a confidence ranking, and I presume you did A and a confidence ranking.
I did. I thought I did both.
Okay, that's good. Then you're done for now. Now, and if you sent me, okay, are most people done, John?
I'm still going, but I'm not getting scores for B from people. Just
Okay,
A scores.
I'll wait a little bit before I go to my email. Although, you know what I can do? Wait, I'm going to put my email on my other screen. Because I'd like to see, because send in some of your emails, and then we'll be able to look at them, and then we can all discuss them in terms of learning more and more about judging. Okay, where do I want to put this? Over here, and let's see what I've got. Okay, good. So I've got, okay, Noreen, yours came first. Let me see if I can get it here. Oh, okay. So you put, oh, do you have a sketch too, but you just put the words here, Noreen?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
And
that's fair. So in the future, you would be able to scan that in. I understand not doing it today. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, I just want to give a little more time for those who are doing the judging. The judging is important. It often takes actually more time than the remote viewing session and even the feedback session sometimes, just simply because you want to go over each element and you want to honestly match it to both photos. Okay, you're in pretty good shape?
I'm still I'm about halfway done.
Oh, okay. You have now, some of you brand new newbies, done your first remote viewing session, now getting into the judging. One of the things which I'd like to kind of emphasize to the newbies is the most value from this is taking the longer term perspective, because you want to get into the mindset that you're just going to continue to open up that communication channel and get better and better and better. And I frankly believe that goes on forever. You know, some people say you reach a certain level and that's the end of it. I think that mindset gets you to a certain level, and then guess what? It's the end of it for you. There's always more you can get from your communication channel. In fact, there's the communication channel, your deeper self, your spirit, your whatever. There's so many different words for the deep part of you, truly has access to everything. And the only limits are those that we put on ourselves. That turns out to be a great one-liner from the Monroe Institute, but other people have essentially said the same thing. And I believe that. And we happen to be on an approach which could allow that to happen. It's actually rather deep. Plus, you can use it professionally. I mean, it's got so many good things to say about it. Okay, while he is finishing off, and some of you are judging,
There's a question.
Okay, go ahead, read it.
Someone asked if it's possible to see both targets because they
yeah, you should
judge both targets the same. So
yeah, you should be seeing them on the screen here. Aren't you seeing them?
oh no, because they scored both targets the same score. They were wondering if they could see both targets in their session.
Oh, you mean does that happen in the transcripts? Unfortunately, yes. In other words, we've all seen cases where the intention, at least that's my explanation, you now get into the very mysterious part of this, but if the intention was not clear enough to connect up with the feedback target, which you haven't seen yet, but you will see tomorrow, associated with this coordinate number, then your subconscious may very well be getting information from what it's seeing right now. So right now you see both of them, and that may be where you went. And if you have descriptions which are good on both of them, it does say you're psychic, but don't give yourself too much credit because you're psychic, but you didn't do it correctly. Tell your subconscious, hey, yeah, I know, thank you, I get that we can do this, but next time really give me information from the feedback photo site and ignore the judging session. So that's the attitude which you ought to have under those circumstances. That makes sense? But you're not the only one who does that. We even have a term for it. It's called bleed through, or if they're really, really good, sometimes we call it displacement. Okay, I'm going to show Noreen's here just as an example, but those of you who are judging, just keep doing your judging. Noreen did come in late, but she's been around the block enough, so she jumped in to do the session, but we can't see her sketches.
There's only one sketch. I'm not a good sketcher. I have too much describing.
And what was it?
I felt rounded, but not round.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah, but nothing.
So I would put that part closer to this picture, right? A. I mean, this is more rounded than this one.
I picked B. Those things are not square. They're not really a triangle. There's some roundedness in those three objects, and the water is definitely running.
Yes.
I see green there. I see outdoors there.
Yep. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. So this is clearly rounded, and so you gave B what score? Let's see. Water, outside, green, rounded. Yes, everything you put down there, photo divided. So that means it's got like different pieces?
If I divided it in half, we're thinking of looking at it this way, but if you turn the picture and divided it in half, it would look totally different than the other part.
That's what you mean by divided. Yeah, I was just trying to understand what you mean. And then you smell water. I would say that's excellent, yes. What level did you give?
I gave it a 6.
Okay.
Learn not to.
A little hard to argue with that, actually. Except I don't see any what I'd call AOL. I might give it a 5, but as I say,
AOL.
differences of 1 are reasonably common, and 5 or 6 actually are just about equally good. Excellent. Noreen. I'm so glad you were able to join us. You're feeling well again?
Oh, well, yeah. Just feeling like I'm 79. Yep.
Okay.
That's how I'm feeling.
Okay.
But yeah, to it. I want to work.
We'll talk offline, and I'm going to get you working. This is great. Okay. So let me go to the next one. But this was terrific. Thank you. So you can see how well she did. And so she scored this for that side. Let's go look at some others. And do you have your spreadsheet? Because one of the things I'm expecting to see with the spreadsheet is there'll be some people who did really well on the other side. For some reason, that happens. But until John,
the spreadsheet's done. I don't have a B score for NZ, but of the people that submitted scores, I have theirs.
okay, he's probably still judging. Okay, he can give that to you verbally. Let me go to you just so everybody can get a sense of that, and then we'll come back to me because I want to show more transcripts because I do have many of them here, and this is just a wonderful way of using our time. So let me go to you, and I'm going to give you control.
I have two screens, so I'm not sure how that's going to play out. We'll see.
Yeah, well, right, we'll see. There is usually a primary one. Okay, so you should see now on your screen something that says, you know, hide material, and I can show my screen or something like that.
Okay, let's see.
It'll go in what it thinks is your primary screen. There it is. Yep, I see it, and we see all of us are seeing yours now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I see a few people haven't given theirs. They may not judge. They may not have done sessions. Not everybody wants to do sessions. Okay, why don't you mark all the ones that are over, let's say 5 or even.
I did the averages down here at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So over 5, okay.
Just so, yeah, so we can see.
Martin?
Let's say 5 row. Hey, Norm, how you doing?
Pretty good, bud. I just wanted to give my numbers. I'm not sure I got them to the correct person, but A is 0 and B is 4.
Okay.
Norm?
Yeah,
Okay.
Norm, right.
A is 0?
Yes, and B is 4.
Oh,
Got it.
oh my. Ramel, you were the one who got the same scores, and they were 7 and 7s?
Well, he actually said he would have given Photosite B a 10.
Okay,
But,
we'll take a look at that. If you sent that to us, we'll take a look at that. That'll be interesting to look at. But clearly you are getting the information from the judging, not from the feedback, because we haven't done that yet.
Oh, I can use my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I feel like the B is actually best. Represent my session as I emailed you that session.
Yeah, we'll look at
The A is only like because of the orange, the red, you know, and also the coldness that I'm also feeling. But I feel more hot inside, so I would be tending more towards the A. So if you can correct that. So
towards
that
the A or the B? You'd be more towards the B, you said, or the A?
The B would be a 7.
Okay.
And then the A would be a 4.
Okay, or we can make it as, okay, and let's see if I can find you. Let's look at yours next just because you came up next.
Thank you.
Yep, I see you there. Okay. Oops, but I don't see an attachment. You emailed me, but I don't see an attachment. Right? Okay. You didn't do an attachment, Ramel.
Oh, I did. I did.
Oh, did you? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
How come I'm not? Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not seeing.
Marty at PIA.com.
P-I-A.com. I have it, but I don't. I just don't see an attachment. I mean,
Um,
why don't I take the
video?
you sent the video? No.
No,
Let
not
me
a
take
video.
this. Let me take the screen back. Can you give me the screen, John? Or I guess I can take it back.
Okay, where are we at here?
Yeah, just right click. Yeah, I can take it back. Wait, I can take it back.
Presented to Marty.
Yeah. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now,
Okay.
right? Maybe you could send me a copy of the spreadsheet, and then I can show it from here, and we don't have to go back and forth. But Ramel, is that how you pronounce your name, Ramel?
Yeah.
Okay, but here,
Correct.
Ramel, here's what all I got. So I don't know what to say.
Oh my! I
So-
checked it.
I understand. Go ahead.
I'm
Just send,
using my iPad.
yeah, just use it again. Just use it again, and meanwhile, I'll look at somebody else. Okay.
Oh, that's a bummer. I'll
Yeah.
send it to you again.
Okay. Or if you can even get it on your screen, we can see it from your screen. But let me go to the next one I've got here. So there's Noreen and then Janice. Okay, what scores did you give, Janice?
I gave 5 for photo site A
God.
and 1 for photo site B.
Okay. Why aren't I seeing anything from you either? Could it be my problem? How did you attach it?
I attached a photograph in an email, and on my end, it appears to have gone through.
Right. Okay, so it might not be Ramel's point because it's not
Yeah,
here.
my end because I checked if you know
Okay.
the sent mail and it went through.
I wouldn't even know how not to get attachments. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on here.
But I had this problem also trying to send you 2 weeks ago.
An attachment?
Yes, but it comes through as in my sent file. It shows that the attachment went through.
Say what I'm going to do. Let me close this and open it again.
Did you open mine? Felicia?
Okay, wait, hold on. What I want to try now is occasionally I have problems with this.
Oh, perhaps go further down on mine, on my email, go further to the bottom.
Yeah, no, I think I did. Okay, I'm going to start it up again. Okay, let me start it up again. Here you are.
Well, that is the bottom.
Yeah. Somebody's making a lot of noise. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. Can you get it? You know what? You guys can get it on your screen. I'm going to make you presenter, and we'll discuss it that way. Okay? There's always more than one way to beat this. It looks like I have a problem. So let me first do. Ramel, can you get yours on the screen? So
I can't even get. Yeah, I'd love to. How do I do this?
You don't have. Okay, I'm going to make you presenter.
Okay, hold on.
And you should have on your screen something that says privacy, protect your private information, and then there's a place to click that says show my screen.
Hold on.
Was that about right, John?
Let me get the
Mine is at the top of the, it's at the top of the chat bar, and it says screen, and in the drop down, and then it says change presenter to.
Yeah, I did that, but then how does he open it?
That's one. It should ask him for,
Right.
would you like to be presenter or whatever.
Right. And that's
Okay,
what I
okay.
did. Do you see it?
Okay. Oh shucks. Okay. Let me open the email first.
Okay.
Okay, I'm opening the email.
Marty, I sent you the spreadsheet in your email. Did you get it?
Yeah, let's see if I can show it, but yeah. Yeah, I see there it shows up right there as an attachment. Why doesn't... Oh, I am being... Wait a second. Hold on.
You saw mine, right?
Yours. Hold on. Why am I being so silly here? Wait, maybe it is there. There's... No, see, it wasn't there, Janice.
Okay,
And neither is Ramel's, but yes, I got yours, John. You see here, it shows up as an attachment right there.
Did you see mine?
No.
Oh, okay, here it is.
Okay, good. So you have to make yourself the presenter. Did you do that?
Okay, change.
I can see his session right now.
Yes, we see it. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this works.
I have 2 pages. So this is the first page. And the first thing is like I feeling cold. That's my just my PI.
Okay.
And I felt like I was moving up, going smoothly, going outside and sliding up. That's just, and I just noticed like it was like a hard metallic thing. That's why I gave the first one, that. The silver color. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, my computer.
Yeah.
How do you make it?
No, that's good. We can see, at least I can see it fine.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
But
just, yeah.
But the second page.
Okay, yeah, let's see the second page. So I see rounded.
The second page is even better because I actually drew like three things in there, and it says like gaseous. Hold on.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
I'm loving this. Okay, that one.
Yeah.
That one is more compelling to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the 3 things in there that just happened, and that I actually felt like I was in air. I felt like I was flying up high. I was falling off. I was flying up high again and falling off. There's a rhythmic thing of like going up and down, and I actually felt like a thread that could be like this spurts stuff.
Right.
And I actually drew the centerpiece is like AOL is the sunset.
Yep.
There's water in there. I didn't label it. That's water.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the first page. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Let's go back to the first page. I just want to see this. That page had nothing about the first photo that I could see.
Oh, metallic.
The metallic.
Yes.
But also the fine filament, because I felt like I was hot right down here.
Yeah, but hot goes with the second one. I don't even see a 4 for the first one.
Light bulb, volcano, AOL volcano.
No, yeah. Okay, here's what I'm saying to you, Romel. I agree with, whether it's a 7 or a 6 or a 5, I don't care. A very good match to B. I do not see a good match to A. I don't see a level 4 to A. We're talking judging now.
Oh, okay.
And, what do you think, John? Do you see a 4 to A?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so I think you overjudged the A. That should be probably a 2.5 or most, maybe just a 2. I mean,
I might give it a, yeah.
Let's see.
I would give it at least a 2. Metallic, silver color, cold.
Oh yeah, cold was there. Yep.
Light bulb might be, I don't know.
Snow. I see the roundish little bit on the snow there. Okay, so you might give it, again, differing by 1, somewhere between a 2 and a 3, but not a 4. You wouldn't wager on this. We consider 3.5, between the 3, which is right on the margin, and 4, we consider 3.5 to be wagerable, and I wouldn't wager on this.
And then the second one.
Oh, yeah. So, no, your second page, well, no, both of those are one transcript. So those together make one transcript, and together I would give it a 2 or a 3, and the last one's a 7. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you.
I'm going to change presenter. Right, just click on that, right?
To do what? Yeah, what we're going to do now is I wanted to go to the other person who didn't, the attachment didn't come through. Who is that? I'm sorry, give me.
Shannon. Janice.
Okay, yep, I see you here, Janice. And I'm going to make you the presenter. So on your screen should come something.
There you go. I did it for you.
Okay.
Do you see my screen?
Yep, we do. Okay, very good.
I did not make a drawing.
And don't feel unusual. I would say about, I don't know, some reasonable percentage of people just seem to get words. An occasional little
I'm
bit of
very new at
sketching.
this.
Yeah,
I
well,
get
don't-
words a lot myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get a sensation or a taste, but a lot of times it's a word that comes up.
Yep. So don't feel unusual about that. Okay. So it's a little small. Barren, dead, high, green, gray, boxy. What's below boxy?
Outdoor,
Outdoor.
whistling, quietness, and glare.
Okay. And how did you judge that?
I judged it as a 5. I was getting the ambiance of like a moonscape where you would have the dark sky and a lot of white glare.
Okay. So you gave A a 5?
I did.
Okay. Okay. And let me look at that and see if I agree.
What's the ideogram? Is that say motion, energy, man-made, nature,
Land and natural.
and in natural? Okay.
Well, there was natural, the land, man-made, and energy.
I think it seems like your scores are reversed to me.
Yep. The land, the stray cat of the surface, you really think it was more like the quiet of the building? In other words, you gave a higher score to the building with the snow on it.
I did.
And you...
The kicker for me is the gestalt she has under the ideogram. Nature and motion energy is...
Right. That...
I don't know which... So out of those, which would you choose if you had to choose one? Would it be nature or man-made? Or...
See, the only... Yeah. You were asking her? Yeah, Janice.
That'll help you judge, if it's A or B.
Yeah. You see, you did get the gestalts up front. The man-made gestalt certainly goes with A. We understand that. And so does land. But land goes to both. Well, and natural is for both. So it's the energy one that is a distinguishing one, maybe. But her...
And I think I became focused on the word boxy.
And that's only A.
Yeah, that came up in my session too.
Yeah. Interesting. And yeah. Okay. Hey, what did you give it though? How high did you go on A?
Well, I felt like 5, and then after I saw everybody else's scores, I went back and looking at my descriptors and trying to make them fit with B, and I could see some possibilities.
I know. That's why we like it to all be done independently. But what did you give A originally? A 5. Okay, that sounds a little... What would you say is uniquely and unambiguous?
Oh, I don't know. Would boxy and quietness?
Yeah, it seems a little... Yeah,
Loose.
but I wouldn't mind, again, differing by 1, so I would make it maybe a 4. I'm just giving you,
Okay.
This is one person's feedback. When you do self-judging, which is what I actually recommend these days, in fact, we had a couple of comments already where only the person themselves who had other impressions they didn't get down on the piece of paper would know about. But you'll get to see more and more of these, and you'll tune down.
Well, my
Okay.
judging was probably more pushed up to 5 because of the confidence I felt as opposed to being objective on my descriptors.
Well, interesting. And you know what? After you having said that, I wouldn't change it at all, because I believe you need to trust yourself. In fact, if you were to wager and the 7 were to wager, I would think each of you should wager on different sides. In other words, we're going to come up with a group prediction, and I don't believe viewers should go by the group prediction. I'm trying to learn how to get information from beginners, really. You know, the people who are doing very good move over to the professional group. But I believe you should trust yourself. I mean, that's a very important lesson. I guess I've said it enough, but I believe that. So especially now that you feel so confident in it, I have no problem leaving it as a 5 at all.
It could be a costly lesson too.
Well, that's why we always say wager wisely. And we have whole things on that.
I'm dying to know whether you got my session or not, even if we don't talk about it, just because I did the session and I sent in 5 photographs to you. Looks like it went through.
Yeah, your Rose, I see you. Let me go up the list here.
I'm Farusha also. I'm sorry if that's confusing. I'm Farusha also.
Oh, okay. Okay, but I do see.
Do you want to comment on Janice's B score? I think she only judged it as a 1, and there's a little bit more in her session. So.
Okay. Okay, I do want to go on to others just because I have to leave here at 11:30 no matter what. So let me do that. But you might take a look at that. John is a very good judge, and if he thinks it's high, or at least take a look at that and see what you think. You know, the motion was certainly pretty good. So we've done Rommel. Okay, Norm, let's take a look at yours. I'm just going up the list. And I do have your JPEG. Okay. Okay, so there you are. Oh, I can actually rotate it. Oh, are you guys seeing my screen yet? Ooh, somebody is making...
We still see the other session.
Okay, let me make me presenter. And maybe you can mute people who are making noise. And I'll make myself the presenter. Okay. So, okay, there you are, Norm. I don't have on the screen, but just looking at this, I bet you were a B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how high was his B?
Oh, he has the scores in the bottom right there, it looks like.
Oh, there you go. Oh, and that's a good thing to do, by the way. A 0 and a 4, shiny, pure from atomic particles, beaming, solid. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, that's very good. Yeah, it's hard to find anything with A. Zeros usually are about as hard to get as 7s. But in this case, I actually agree. And that is just an excellent way for your subconscious to work, Norm. You know, just give me the 1, and in fact, give me things that are different between the 2. That's sort of a sub suggestion I always give my sub. Because sometimes there are overlaps with things. That's really good. I mean, if you were to give that a 4.5, maybe even a 5. I mean, that picture, that top view picture is unique and unambiguous. If you were to give that a 5, I wouldn't disagree with it. Don't you? Do you agree, John?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's a good session for B.
Yeah, so that's just excellent. Thank you, Norm. Thank you.
Well, thanks, you guys. I'm excited. I appreciate it.
That was beautiful. Okay, let me go. There's not much more to say about that. That's just how you judge, and that was a great session. I mean, this precog stuff works. I mean, you didn't have the slightest idea what we were going to be showing. No one.
I'm always amazed when I see sessions like that. They're not using like a standard our CRV or anything, and they still get, you know, really good data.
Oh yeah, okay, let me bring this up, just because then I'll have it to show later. Okay, put that over there. Okay. Joan on a G, an A was a 4 and a B was 0, okay. And let's see if we agree with the judging, or we can at least make comments on it. Looks like he's all words, which I did get, but it's on my other screen, so let me bring that over. Why can't I bring it over? Okay, I'm going to have to do it a different way. And I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so you can see this, the snipping tool. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Building, big, pointed, blue sky, angular shapes, bright, round, dome, cross, sharp, towers, rectangles, no clouds, one man in foreground.
Can you zoom in on that? It's too small for us.
Yeah, I can't actually. I
Can you
don't
make
know.
your screen bigger?
Usually I can, but on the snipping tool, it's not letting me do it. See, it was on my other screen, and the other screen, it won't move over for whatever reason. Oh, I see. I got it. It was the, here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. It was a Word doc, and I had, okay, anyway. So there are the words. And I think we all know the picture, so I could bring them on, but yeah, see, this is
That's the top one.
pretty cool. Well, what do you see about B?
I see both targets in here.
What? How did he judge him? What were the two numbers? Let me see. I've got it here. He said his numbers. What were the numbers? Just remind me.
I don't know whose session it was.
Yeah, okay, wait, I have it here. Okay, it was a 4 and a 0. So he didn't think he saw any of B, so there's something to learn here.
Oh.
Okay, so building certainly isn't in B, and it is in A. Big is in both. Pointed.
Both.
Yeah, but there wasn't, yeah, okay. Blue skies.
The roof has a little point to it on the building.
Yeah, okay. Blue sky, angular shapes, the round, the dome. Yeah, I would say 0 for B is too harsh.
Towers down there.
Towers, rectangles, no clouds, one man in foreground. So interesting. Yeah, you can see where this is the hard one. Yeah, I don't see towers.
On B.
Right. Yeah, you would call these towers. I don't see them here. Yeah, again, we're doing this. Remember, judgment is just that, to try to give guidance from people who at least have done more of this. The building, of course, is right on with A, and the big. Maybe you get some pointed. Blue sky, close enough. That's where analogy, maybe give it a half a point, not a full point. Angular shapes, yes. Bright. Yeah, I mean, the only thing round, there's just no real roundness there. The closest you can come is there, but I wouldn't do round. Dome. Yeah, cross. marginal on both of them. Rectangles you see is big here. No clouds. One man in foreground. I don't see anybody in the picture, but they might be inside. You might have gotten a sense of it. But, you know, a best has got to be verifiable. The light's on, so maybe you give it a half. You know, you're the judge. He gave it a 4. I don't know. That's certainly within 1. I mean, if I were to give that a 3.5 or a 4, I don't disagree with that. What about your opinion, John, or anybody else?
Yeah, I would go. I might pass personally on this, but
Yeah.
If we're just talking about the A score, probably 3.5.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't tell if building is his gestalt or if he sensed the building, or when the data came in would be.
Yeah, but see, I just see it as a gestalt in any case.
Right.
And okay, now compared to the other one,
It does sound like man-made is coming up.
yeah, I see it as less. He gave it a 0. I don't think a 0 works. I mean, it's big. Let's just see if we would think it's pointed. What you're hearing us do, and hopefully this is learning the newbies, is this is what you do in judging. You now go back to the picture. Would you call that pointy? Well, yeah.
Maybe a dome.
You know, and this is where you have to, well, dome, yes, and roundish, yes,
Towers. Bright.
and bright, yes. Yeah, so
blue
you
sky on
just,
that one?
you understand, yep, blue sky. So you understand why 0 would be wrong. And after you get excited about the good matches from the 1, as a judge, you tend to do that. All of us have been there. What you want to do is go independently, judge it independently, period. And sometimes if they're close, then you might fudge the numbers to make it a pass, to make them the same if you don't want to make a specific prediction. But that's a little bit more sophisticated than we need to do now. But I would say this might even be up, and I guess that's what you're saying, this might be up at the 3 level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you would say you would prefer to pass on it. So let me just try to explain that, how that would happen. You gave it a 4 and a 0. We're sort of saying maybe a 3.5. I'm saying in a 3. But they're so close that you might feel uncomfortable. So you might make both of these 3.5s, in which case it would be a pass. So that's something you can do with your own personal scoring. So that's teaching you how to get a pass out of this. If all the numbers are below 3.5, then it's automatically a pass, since 3.5 is the lowest wagerable. Okay? So, Jahan, you got that? Hope that helped clear things up for you. Okay, let's look at Rose. Now you sent me...
I'm sorry, I sent it more than once, and I think that there are only 3 pictures that I sent.
Okay.
So there's 3 pictures. That was the first one.
Okay, let me get that up. So that's an ideogram. And then I got this one.
And there's one more.
Okay. And I'm just trying to rotate this so it's in the right direction.
There's one in between, that's all.
Yep. Let me save changes made to this message. No. Okay, so it's one of these 2. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I've got all 3. Was this page 1 here? Oh no, the ideogram.
No, the ideogram was page 1.
Okay, so you've got outdoor tiles, colorful light blue with
Flecks flecks of other colors.
Okay. Outdoor.
Did she label her other ideogram, or was it just the ideogram?
Just an ideogram.
Okay, do you see it as an ideogram or as a pictogram in any sense?
I tried to put my pen on it and see how I felt, and I kept getting these like sensate images of rolling around, which is why I had the AOL of a skateboard park. It was a lot of rolling, and I felt like I was airborne part of the time, and I was rolling around. So that's what I got from the ideogram, basically.
Okay. Okay, so, and then let me see how you judged it.
I like your structure. This is good.
Okay, you're not a rose here. What are you on the...
I'm Felicia. I'm sorry about that. My telephone,
okay.
when I emailed from my phone. Okay.
Verusa. So I'll give it a 3 for A and a 5 for B.
The confusing part, the bleed-through, I think, comes from the similar colors because I'm getting light blue, I'm getting a burst of yellow, and, I got the black in the crevice, so, or the dark powder in the crevice. So I think that the colors, to me, were just a little bit confusing, that there was similarity in the pictures. In that regard, because I get colors, and in that way, it was a little confusing. But the rolling was clearly the B,
Okay, some part made of wood. That part, huh?
Well, that part is all around. I don't know where that came from.
And that's why you got up to 3. Okay, Marty's.
If you're looking at a session that might have some bleed through, sometimes it can be helpful to write a session summary, because just the conscious idea of writing a summary, it's kind of self-organizing, and then that can help you judge sometimes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm looking at this. Okay, tell me, and again, I always ask this when I see 5s. Why do you see this as a 5?
Because of the outdoors, the light blue, the lemon yellow burst, the dark powder, the crevice, and the rolling surface.
Crevice is good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And even the thing going up, you're all seeing this. It's got the sort of the right geometry.
What's the AOL say next to that? Oh,
skateboard park. That was the sensate feeling I had. I felt like I was skateboarding, Not that I skateboard.
No, but what's interesting
like
about...
motion?
Yes, exactly. That gives you the motion. Okay. So we had a 7 and a 6. What's interesting is we do have 2 5s on the other side, and that's not unusual. I mean, even the best viewers, for one reason or another, we do not understand it, will get the misses at high levels occasionally. Usually they're not that high, but sometimes they are, and that's why they're, not at 100%. But I think it's pretty clear here. We're going to go with side B. I would say, looking at all of this, and I tend to ignore the passes, I think it's fair. Seems pretty close, though. There are a lot of 4s on this side, too, that we didn't look at. I guess I could give this like a 5.5 and give this a 4.5, right? Just as a group manager now, just looking at the numbers.
Yeah, well, it's average. The numbers are averaged in that.
I don't see the average here.
Oh,
yeah, I see. 3 and 3.2. Even here, they're coming out close.
Right.
But you see, this is where the group manager uses judgments. For example, I tend to really ignore the passes and then look at the transcripts that are high, especially the highest. And these two, which we did look at, were quite good. And where's Norm? Which side was he?
He's 0 and 4.
Yeah, Norm was this side as well. So I feel pretty comfortable going with side B. So that'll be the group prediction. And then I'll show you now how you do that. So group prediction is B, but remember I'm doing this just like I was you as an individual, and this is the last step for the remote viewing and judging. So let me see if I can find that. So that's here. So remember, what we've just done is the judging session, and as an individual, if I were putting it in so I could look at that as one giant transcript, I would give this, I said, a 4.5 and this a 5.5. So notice I don't even know which way things are going. The computer has all that in there. And then I would write here, this is webinar for newbies and old. I like that word, oldbies. Turns out it's actually in the dictionary. Day one prediction and judging. And day one, RVing. Okay, so I then put it in, and there it goes. It is saying we're going under. So this is the first time we actually know that the personal prediction is under, and it was associated with photo site B, which we do know. But what we really know, just because that was the one that we gave so much credit to, which was this one, but for the first time we know that the computer associated associated our coordinate with under, which was photo site B. Okay, now the next thing we have to do, maybe, and this of course is optional, and a lot of our members do not do this, but that's the wagering. The professionals, somebody else wages for them. The guys who are in the groups will do their own wagering, and that's what I'm going to do because I'm now acting as a group, as an individual person, and I happen to use the account bookmaker.eu. So I'm going to log in. It saves it. It gives me that option. So it's one of the big ones. There's something called 5 dimes that people use. Now this is very much what we're going to be doing in Vegas, but there we'll be doing it live. So I know some of you are joining us. I hope more of you, there's still some seats left, can actually come to Vegas. And we'll then go downstairs and make wagers, and the rest of it will be very similar to what we did here, where everybody will be doing their own. We won't be getting it off a computer. There will be random choosing of an envelope that will have the 2 pictures in them marked yes and no. So it's essentially the same thing, but it won't be online. I don't want to be at the whim of the computers, the internet. Okay, so for book, and all of them will have exactly the same thing. First you have to choose, is it football, is it baseball? Hey, we ought to do some World Series stuff a little bit later. But right now we're doing NFL, and then you hit continue. And then it's going to give you choices of all the NFL games. There they are. Here are Sunday's games. And it turns out there is a group that predicts on Sundays. But here it is, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers. Oop, it's 46, just as it was, so it didn't change. We said under, correct? Yes. I just, and you two need to always check yourselves. Yep, under. And okay, and I'm going to make a real wager here. My wagering philosophy is, and this is personal, everybody needs to come up with their own and they need to do it wisely. I'm just giving you mine, which is to wager between 5 and 10%, and then based on my confidence level, you know, I'll move it up and down based on that. But here I've just chosen the under arrow. I do continue. And now I put in the amount, and I feel pretty good about this, so I'm going to do $40. And then I do, and I round off. See, again, being in this for the long term, you know, I don't have to worry too much about details. So this is where this 10%, the minus 110 comes in. I'm risking 44 to win 40. So of course I get my 44 back plus 40, or I'll lose my 44. And then I have confirmed to bet. And so I just placed a wager. The wagering is, in my opinion, the fourth leg of this when you're in the financial or sports betting world. And it is something which needs to be studied, understood, internalized, and integrated with all the other phases of the ARV. And even if you don't wager, sort of understanding the idea of wagering wisely, that other people need to do that. It's just important to sort of be out there. Okay, maybe it connects up with Judge Wisely. Okay, we have a few minutes, not many, because I really do have to leave at 11:30, but I'm happy to entertain any questions, comments.
How do you get your money out of the site that you wagered on? I did something with, is it Laura Smith? We had a little group for a little while, and how do you get your money off the site? In other words, there are some sites where you bet on and you can't get your money off of it because of restrictions, international restrictions.
No, this one, I'm going to the cashier, and they will send you a check. They will do, you can get your money out. I have, in fact, gotten money out. I think they charge more than I think is reasonable. You can use Bitcoin now. That's brand new. I've never done that. But you can Bitcoin. You can withdraw. You can do a bank wire. They will give you a debit card, which is interesting. And that actually isn't such a bad option, but you have to pay monthly for the debit card. And they will send you a check. I think the check might be the most popular. I can't remember. Anyway, you can do all that. For some reason, agent transfer. Oh, I think I have to click here. Debit wire, bank draft. Yeah. So you actually, they give you options. You can do it. So they will get the money to you. They understand if they didn't, nobody would use them. So, okay, any other questions, comments? And in fact, if you open up one of these, before you open it, absolutely make sure you understand that. So they all have telephone, 800 number contacts or chats or stuff like that. So don't ever go to one until you feel comfortable with it, including how would you get your money out.
There's a question, Marty, if you're going to have a webinar on the Forex.
I do plan on doing that. Others have asked. Do keep reminding me. Send me emails. There's a lot going on, but I will have another webinar on Forex, and there are some out there. If you go to our website, applyprecog.com, you will see some there, and especially if you're a paid member, there are even more there. I do hope all of you are in our free applyprecog.com, and I also encourage you, of course, to become a paid member. And if you're not, you can just email me, and I'll see to it that you get in. Okay,
Just one more comment.
Yeah.
Our remote viewing is only half done until we get our feedback tomorrow.
Oh yeah, well that's right. So, and as we're closing up here, I hope to see all of you tomorrow for the very, 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 very important feedback session, and you'll get to see how we do it. Again, we will bring up transcripts, which I'm first going to have you mark up, because I'm a great believer in doing an aggressive feedback session, including either marking up your own transcript or doing it on a separate sheet of paper, and I would like to see how you do that, and we can comment on that. So that's really the plan for tomorrow. The plan for tomorrow is all about feedback. Okay. Anything else, or any other comments I missed, John?
We'll catch it up tomorrow.
Okay. Very good, everybody. Take care. Thank you for coming, and keep precogging.